rare moment of hope in a relentless conflict, but will it last? After months of destruction and loss in Gaza, Israel and Hamas have finally reached what negotiators are calling the first phase of a ceasefire agreement. The deal, though fragile, marks a dramatic turn in one of the deadliest chapters in the long and bitter struggle between Israelis and Palestinians. But here's where it gets controversial. Skepticism is already running high about how durable this so-called peace plan can really be. President Donald Trump announced the breakthrough on Truth Social, declaring that both sides had formally approved the initial stage of what he branded our peace plan. According to him, the agreement will lead to the release of all hostages held by Hamas and an Israeli withdrawal to a mutually defined boundary. In Trump's words, these are the first steps toward what he described as a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. He lavishly praised mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey, and declared the day a triumph for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, neighboring nations, and the United States. His post ended with an optimistic flourish. Blessed are the peacemakers. The announcement followed reports that Trump had told White House journalists he was prepared to visit the Middle East as soon as the upcoming weekend. The negotiations required a complicated web of intermediaries, since Israel and Hamas refused to talk directly. The discussions were led by Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, with Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey facilitating the talks in the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The timing of the ceasefire's implementation remains uncertain. Leaks from the talks suggest that Hamas will release around 50 hostages, some alive, others deceased, while Israel will free about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. Trump's outline of the plan also includes highly significant provisions. Hamas is expected to disarm and relinquish its governing authority in Gaza, a territory ravaged by 2 years of war. Israel, in contrast, is anticipated to keep limited troops in place initially, withdrawing them gradually as peace solidifies. Still, the devil is in the details, and few of those have been made public. Previous truces collapsed spectacularly. 2 previous ceasefires fell apart within weeks. One deal struck in January, disintegrated by March, and another early ceasefire in November 2023 survived scarcely a week. Given that history, many observers warn this new attempt may prove equally unstable. For now, though, global leaders appear cautiously optimistic. An unprecedented international coalition has thrown support behind the deal, while polls on both sides indicate massive popular fatigue with fighting. Ordinary people, Israeli and Palestinian alike, are desperate for calm. The war itself erupted on October 7, 2023, when Hamas stunned Israel with a pre-dawn assault on the southern region. Nearly 1,200 people died, most of them civilians, including many at a music festival. It was the deadliest single day in Israel's history since its founding in 1948. Israel's response was ferocious. Airstrikes and ground operations leveled large parts of Gaza, killing over 67,000 people, mainly women and children, according to local officials. The offensive left hospitals, schools, and entire neighborhoods in ruins, and Israel tightly restricted humanitarian supplies, triggering severe shortages of medicine and food. Today, over 2 million Palestinians remain displaced, most crowded into makeshift shelters and tents in Gaza's south, near Egypt's border. Should the ceasefire hold, vital food aid and medical relief will surge into the territory, offering some immediate respite. Yet the physical rebuilding of homes, roads, water, and power systems will likely stretch over many years. And here's the part most people miss. Even if the guns fall silent, the political questions remain unresolved. The agreement envisions Hamas stepping down after nearly 20 years of rule, replaced by a transitional administration composed of qualified Palestinians and international experts. Oversight would come from an international board of peace, chaired by President Trump himself, to coordinate reconstruction and governance. When it comes to the future of Palestinian statehood, however, the plan grows vague. It speaks merely of a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood. Words that could mean almost anything, depending on how one interprets them. Critics argue the proposal leaves key political rights undefined and risks entrenching the status quo rather than changing it. For Israel, the picture is more complex. Militarily, the country emerges stronger, having dealt crippling blows to Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and even Iran's nuclear infrastructure. Diplomatically, however, Israel faces isolation. The scale of civilian casualties and the immense damage to Gaza's infrastructure have drawn worldwide condemnation, even from long-standing allies. So is this truly the dawn of lasting peace? Or just another temporary pause before the cycle of violence resumes? Can a deal drafted under immense international pressure realistically transform decades of mistrust? Let's hear your take. Is this a genuine turning point or a mirage in the desert of Middle East politics?